basically anything which is property related, be it land, new developments, rental, buy, vertical and horizontal condominiums, anything, any asset class which falls into the real estate category, basically can be listed onto our portal. And we are actually one-stop solution for all, I would say, property needs on the. Definitely say that basically there is an increase in all asset classes in terms of demand, but I think the most has been in the vertical spaces, vertical SKUs like condominiums, apartments. The idea was that we saw a massive opportunity that we can create more transparency and professionalism in the real estate industry, right? Create the most accurate, most complete information about the property needs, so that the buyer or someone who wants to rent, tenant, can make their optimum decision by looking at all parameters of that property. Lamudi.com acts as a bridge between the seekers, the property seekers, and the people who want to sell out their property as well, or even brokers and agents as well. In this longer journey, we want to make sure that they get the complete information, right? Because because otherwise the overall experience and because of the seriousness of the decision, it might really impact their life, and we don't want to do that, right? So we take our jobs very, very seriously. We know that how important homes and houses are for people, and that's what drives us over. And for us, what's more important is that we genuinely have the trust from our seekers and from our partners as well. And as a platform, we not only believe in transactional relationship with our partners, with our seekers as well. We are really trying to help the industry and elevate the standards of real estate industry as well.
Afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to ProsTalk. For those who are just tuning in, ProsTalk is the social corporate responsibility of Buildy, where we actually interview professionals and experts in their fields to educate the Philippine market with anything and everything that has to do with real estate property, construction, and the like. Today, we have a very special guest from Lamudi, Mr. Anurag Verma, or we will call him in this segment, Anu. Hi, Anu.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in, guesting here in Buildy. So, for those who are just tuning in and it's the first time for them to see and watch ProsTalk, Buildy is a platform that was designed and created by a group of enterprising Filipinos that were thinking, there is something that can be streamlined and improved in the construction industry. So I think it was a time when we were all trying to build our houses, and we were having so much challenges getting suppliers, getting, contractors. And so we thought that this is a platform that is really needed to help Filipinos improve in this area, in the real estate market. So for Lamudi, sir, can you just quickly introduce yourself to the guests before we get into the Q&A?
Sure. First, thank you so much, Natasha, for the introduction. And thank you for Buildy team for inviting me as well, and supremely looking forward to the conversation. So my name is Anurag Verma. As you introduced, I am currently the country head for Lamudi, Philippines. And before this position, I was taking care of broker classifieds and partnerships vertical, where my team would work with thousands of brokers, agents, and brokerage firms to strategize their marketing needs and help them advertise their listings and listings. When I say listings, basically their properties, different SKUs they have on the portal as well. I have been working in the Philippines from last 6-7 years. Before Lamudi, I was working for Zomato, which is one of the world's leading food tech player as well. I was leading the business there as well. Yeah. So that's about me, and super happy to be on the chat.
All right. Thank you for that, Anu. And just for those who are maybe trying to figure out, listing properties, how is this different from corporate listings? I mean, do you do both, or are you specializing in a specific segment, or is it everything?
No, we Lamudi, we believe in all property assets, right? So basically anything which is property related, be it land, new developments, rental, by vertical and horizontal condominiums, anything, any asset class which falls into the real estate category, basically can be listed onto our portal. And we are actually one-stop solution for all, I would say, property needs on the portal.
All right. Fantastic. So I guess those who are watching, and again, for me, actually, I'm in the BPO sector. Now that we've opened up, right, and there's a hybrid, back to office, or whatever the arrangement is, I think properties are back in demand, post COVID. Is that also your sense, Anu?
Of course, we have actually released recently the Q1 trends for 2022, and we'll be releasing soon the Q2 trends as well, which pretty much the same as the Q1 trends. So we have been seeing actively demand in vertical and horizontal spaces, especially the condominiums and apartments. That has been the, I would say, the asset which has been for which the demand has spiked the most. And I think that's because of the office return to office mandate as well. So a lot of people who had originally gone back to provinces and their homes outside Manila, they're actually trying to return back and finding rental spaces near CBDs as well. And same kind of trend in other areas as well, other parts of Luzon and Visayas as well. So yeah, I would definitely say that basically there's an increase in all asset classes in terms of demand, but I think the most has been in the vertical spaces, vertical SKUs like condominiums, apartments.
Right. So, Anu, can you just quickly discuss the services of the Lamudi platform and how does it work? So, for those who have not heard of it or are just trying to figure out, oh, there is a platform for this. How can you just describe that for our audience?
Of course. So Lamudi originally is part of the EMPG group. Lamudi was acquired in 2020. EMPG group is one of the world's largest real estate prop tech players. They are into 16 countries. They are the parent company of Zameen and Bayut as well, which are actually one of the two world's leading portals in Dubai and Pakistan. Lamudi itself, the Lamudi entity is in 3 countries. We are in Indonesia, Mexico, and in the Philippines. In Philippines, we started the journey about 8 years ago, right? Where the idea was that we saw a massive opportunity that we can create more transparency and professionalism in the real estate industry, right? So with that mission, we launched a portal called lamudi.com, where as you know that you can the people can list all sort of properties there, right? And we basically wanted to become a discovery platform for any kind of property need, right? So on the demand side of things, we encourage users on the portal to come, and we try to create the most accurate, most complete information about the property needs, so that the buyer or someone who wants to rent, a tenant, can make their optimum decision by looking at all parameters of that property. And also basically we wanted to help people who want to sell their properties or rent out their properties to have a very easy and convenient experience of basically renting out or selling their properties as well. So this lamudi.com acts as a bridge between the seekers, the property seekers, and the people who want to sell out their property as well, or even brokers and agents as well. So that's what lamudi.com does, right? We are an aggregator of all different property classes, and we make sure that whatever necessary information is required to make an optimum decision on the property, we have that complete onto the portal. And also we connect the buyers and the like different as I said, brokers, agents, property owners, with the seekers as well through different channels. Through the Facebook communication, messenger, email, or directly phone number as well. So we basically connect them onto the portal.
Fantastic, Anu. So I think one of the questions that people will ask is, if I wanted to list a property, let's say for sale, do you provide the brokers or will you connect me to a broker?
No, currently we are a discovery portal, right? So you can come onto the portal, look for. We have various filters onto the. We have almost 200,000 listings onto our portal, and all different SKU classes. So we have various filters to optimize your decision. So we have you can search according to the budget you have, the location you have, amenities, all different sorts of parameters, right? And then once you land up to the listing, and let's say you've shortened out that particular listing, then there are contact mechanisms as well. So you can contact directly the broker or the property owner through Lamudi as well. That we have created a very good user experience tools, so that it's a very seamless process from the platform itself. You will be able to connect to that particular a property seller.
Right. So then, Anu, when you say platform, essentially that's your website. That's where they do the transaction.
Yes, got
it. So does that mean that regardless of the hardware that they're using, whether tablet, computer, phone, they can access Lamudi website and transact?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a app as well, lamudi.com, and you can access through the app, you can access through the desktop as well. And for the property owners, it's a very simple way of uploading a listing. You can just go to the lamudi.com and click on the option of upload a property, or you can actually upload it through the app as well. You just have to fill out some of the information regarding the property, which is mandatory, and the pictures as well. And within 24 to 48 hours, the listing will be uploaded once it's being moderated by our quality control team. So it's very simple.
Very simple. That's great. That's great, because it's very simple. But how do you verify the veracity of the documents? Or because these are properties, right? So how? And again, this even Facebook is hacked, all accounts are hacked. How do you make sure that when I upload a property, that property will not be taken by somebody else and posted for themselves?
Of course, that's I think one of the biggest challenges in overall real estate market as well. As you said rightly, Facebook. We have seen a lot of cases of these scams and fake profiles on Facebook, and that's where we saw massive opportunity for Lamudi as well. That I think we can make the overall journey for both parties, very convenient and more importantly trustful as well, right? So that's why we're really big on our overall authentication of the listings as well, and even for seekers as well. So on the whenever let's say someone wants to upload a property, while submitting the details of the property, they have to submit documentation as well. Let's say, for example, if you're a broker or agent, you have to submit necessary licenses, the PRC license and everything. And if you're a buyer, if you're a owner, then you have to list necessary information which proves that you basically own this property as well. So once the details are submitted, that's where our quality control teams comes into the picture. They actually so apart from, of course, the authentication, we also want that the listing has complete information. We don't want a bad user experience for our seekers. So apart from the documentation, we also make sure that the listing has complete information. We verify it through different measures we have in the backend, right? And only when we are satisfied, then only it gets uploaded onto the portal as well. On the top of it, buyers have to, the sellers have to authenticate their listings as well. So there's an OTP mechanism. So to make sure that there's a genuine property seller. Only when they authenticate and we verify, then we create a badge on their listings, which means that it has been verified by Lamudi, right? And same on the seeker side as well. Before they reach out to any property owner or broker agent, they have to register, and also they have to put their phone number. Then only they can see the details of the seller as well. So that's how we are basically. And then also, we do a lot of quality checks and random checks as well. We make sure that we are, because one of the biggest challenges is that sometimes the listings get old onto the platform, like which means have been sold or rented out already, but it's still within the system, right? So we do a lot of quality checks to make sure that we have the most updated information onto the portal.
Right. No, that's fantastic, Anu. I think any organization or any business that claims that they've sorted out everything digital will be an overcommitment and an overstatement, right? So I think that's going to be an ongoing process, because I mean, from a security standpoint, you've got Google and Facebook, who are essentially the pioneers in the industry, and they still get hacked. So I think the message for the viewers is, again, you need to find a reliable partner or platform that has, again, what's important is your quality check, because there's so many platforms that don't have quality checks. Like, it's free for all. It's like almost, you don't want to say fake sites, but you don't know whether it's been authenticated or verified at all. So the risk is higher. So I think for those that are watching us, if you're looking for a platform or a website that can help you advertise, and if you're also a buyer looking for properties that have been verified, Lamudi is the place to go. Is that a fair statement, Anu?
Of course, obviously we are, as you said, it's a constant process, a constant effort to basically make the platform better in terms of, the authenticity and the overall user experience. So we come up with measures, that's actually one of the biggest focal points for us, to make sure that the quality of the listings, with respect to everything, with respect to the information, the genuinity of that lead, the genuinity of the buyer. We actually block some of the sellers who don't respond, who have been active non-respondents, when the inquiries are made to them as well, right? So we are very, very serious in terms of how the experience of, our seekers are onto the portal, and we take all necessary steps, and we'll keep on taking it to make sure that, the overall journey for finding the dream property with us, which is our mission, is basically super convenient for our users as well, and they don't get trapped into, just to your point as well, on an everyday basis, we get cases on, different our partners sharing stories, our seekers sharing stories about they being scammed, they being they were asked the deposit, and then they were being ghosted. So that's fine. And because of the ticket size being large, people save their money, hard-earned money, all their life to buy a property. It's not a small transaction or a ticket size where, okay, it might go bad with a restaurant or a food, right? It's a very, very big transaction side, which makes us even double conscious to make sure that we authenticate everything which is on the platform.
And again, that's so reassuring to hear. Seriously, because nowadays, there's so many platforms, even platforms that were not originally designed for those things are being used, right? To your point, Facebook and Messenger, right? And I think one of our key, we're very passionate about this in Bilby, Anu, is to really educate the public. To your points, your hard-earned money, make sure you transact only with those that you can trust, that you can verify, because if you can't do either, you're really throwing money away, right? So so Anu, we talked about seekers and sellers, but I think you're also in the rental space, correct?
Yes, we are. And to your last point as well, because this is a large ticket size and a very, very serious kind of a longer journey for someone to, the overall buying process, what we have observed on the portal is around 3 to 4 months. Users research a lot during, from the time they decided to buy a property to the time, they finally do that, right? Same with healthcare. If you want to, have an operation, you would, you won't jump into like deciding that you want to get operated immediately, right? It's a months and months of searching for the best doctor, the word of mouth, right? And that's where the portal and the authenticity becomes even more important, because because in this longer journey, we want to make sure that they get the complete information, right? Because otherwise the overall experience, and because of the seriousness of the decision, it might really impact their life, and we don't want to do that, right? So we take our jobs very, very seriously. We know that how important homes and houses are for people, and that what drives us overall. And to your point, the second point about rental spaces, yes, we, as I said, we allow all kind of properties onto our portal. In fact, the rental demand also has been increasing, as I mentioned, because of the office mandate as well. And we actually are doing a lot of optimization and strategies on the rental side as well, to kind of make people more aware, because primarily Lamudi, I think, in the market is a bit more known for the selling side of things, right? Like more on that as well. So we are also, trying to establish that, we are as good as a rental portal as well. We have, thousands of listings on the rental side as well. We have a very, very aggressive demand, which has been increasing month on month, quarter on quarter on the rental side of things as well. So yes, we are on the rental side.
Well, that's fantastic to know, Anu, because to your point, right, this whole back the office mandate has really compelled everyone to explore, you know, places that are near offices, because of course the skyrocketing fuel costs, transportation, traffic. So I think it will just continue to go up. And for those that are tuning in right now and viewing us, check out Lamudi. I think that's the word to use, right? Check out Lamudi so that you can find out if your offices have nearby listings from Lamudi. And again, safer transaction because it's a platform that has a quality check and authenticates and verifies. So one other thing that I just wanted to check, which is very interesting, is it says here that you also have loan arrangements.
Sorry, just to go back to the last point regarding transportation, how you mentioned, just interesting to share that for the demand on the rental side, which we are tracking right now, one of the most checked, I would say, parameters by users is actually the how near is the property from the transportation hub, so that has become a really, really a very evident kind of trend right now. So interesting that you share the sentiment as well. Loans. So we Lamudi, I think, in few other markets of EMPG, we have that as well. Not yet in the Philippines, right? But that's a very, very exciting space as well. I think there is a big opportunity and gap in the market in terms of the home loans and in general the overall loan industry as well, right? So not right now, but definitely we plan to do that in the coming future for sure.
Fantastic here. I think for those who are just watching us, that's exciting, right? Because in the Philippines, most of the time there's only one way, and that's through the bank. Typically, that's just how it's done, right? Because that's the only organization that people can actually trust.
Yes, of course.
For the buyer and the seller. Beyond that, it's kind of difficult unless there's an in-house financing if it's a condominium. So it would be very interesting if Lamudi does offer that in the Philippines, because then it opens up a new market altogether for Lamudi. So one last question I have, Anu, this afternoon is, there is a statement that says that Lamudi is the #1 real estate property finder in the Philippines. So how true is that, Anu?
Okay, I think every portal kind of claims that, right? But I would say that don't just trust on what I'm saying, but look at the data. I mean, if you compare our website or our portal with any other portal in the market, we are miles away. To give you an example, we get about 2 million, close to 2 million unique users onto our portal every month. More than 10 times any other portal right now. And in terms of the listings as well, we have almost 10 to 15 times more listings on the portal as well. So yes, these stats definitely would I would say conclude that we are the real estate number one real estate portal as well. But I think more importantly, and for us, what's more important is that we genuinely have the trust from our seekers and from our partners as well. When and as a platform, we not only believe in transactional relationship with our partners of our seekers as well. We are really trying to help the industry and elevate the standards of real estate industry as well. In fact, our mission statement is also that we want to create more transparency and professionalism in the industry, right? And all these measures which we take, like to give example, right now we are doing one of the biggest conferences in the Philippines right now. It will be actually in August, Shangri-La BGC, and that is basically just to educate about the market, about what are the real estate trends, what's really happening, what are the what are the sentiments of the developers right now, right? We actually a lot of these events, webinars, events, which is one of the events is called Lamudi Link, where we invite a lot of brokers free of charge. It's basically a free event, and where we share the best practices of how the overall industry can be better, and what they can do better in terms of their occupation to grow their business, right? So we also do Lamudi Academy training sessions, which is basically most of the sessions are actually free, where we train the brokers and our partners on different topics related to digital advertising, lead management, how they can sell properties faster. So what we believe is not only just this portal where we kind of connect both these parties, but we also want to help all the stakeholders involved so that we together can elevate the overall industry's professionalism and transparency, and really create an impact in the prop tech space in the Philippines, right? So I would say that kind of is the mission, right? And the goal is not to be that number one or number two, right? We are not in that race. We are not competing with anyone. There's no competitor of Lamudi right now. We are competing with ourselves, and our goal is really making, as I said, that finding a property becomes super convenient, super easy, and super trustworthy as well.
All right, thank you, Anu. So I think at this portion, if you could just give us a property forecast, if you will.
Property forecast. Okay, sure. So would you want me to share the...
Yes, if we can do that. And as we pull that up, our team will try and share that. Or will you be sharing your screen, Anu?
I can share my screen for sure.
Yes, yeah. If you can share your screen, yeah. I think what you said really resonated with me. We have the same vision of elevating, the professionalism and the transparency. And again, the goal is to improve the overall outcomes of the property industry in the Philippines.
Of course, and that what's actually keep us driving. That has been the vision of the company for last 8 years. And there's a lot of exciting stuff which we will be actually doing in the coming few months and next year as well, which is basically going to further help create more create the overall buying and renting out journey is super easy and convenient, right? So that's what we are also chasing as well. Just give me 1 second. Just raise this one.
Sure thing. So while we're pulling that up, for those who are just tuning in, I will do the endorsements. If you want to know more about Lamudi, just type Lamudi in any browser, and you will find out about them, and you will see the listings, and you will see all the guidelines that you can use to help you understand how to either post an opportunity or actually browse through opportunities if you're a seeker. So you can just type in Lamudi, and it will just pop up in your browser. That's how easy it is.
And just to your point as well, they don't even need to search for lamudi.com. They can just search any property type, like for example, condominium in Makati, and you'll find always lamudi.com on the top of the search. well.
That's how easy it is, right?
Exactly. We are the most dominant. We have the SEO on Google, right? Which also kind of authenticates that we are the trusted choice for our seekers as well, because generally the websites which have the most traffic and being more visited, those are the ones which come onto the top of Google results as well. So for most of the searches, you'll find regarding real estate keywords, you'll always find lamudi.com at the top.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll quickly present the Q1 trends we had in basically this year, right? I'll just summarize it very quickly. So in terms of our overall property trends, as I was mentioning, that we saw, and this data is in comparison to the Q4 of last year, right? So how did Q1 went? We actually saw a spike in all real estate assets class. But as I mentioned previously, that the highest demand was in vertical residential spaces, condominiums and apartments, which is largely because of the return to office mandate. If I look at the overall area-wise, overall geography-wise distribution, a very similar trend in most of these locations. You will see that the vertical SKUs were having the most demand, but specifically just in Mindanao, there has been always more demand for land SKUs there as compared to the other regions as well. But a very, very interesting spike we are seeing basically in most of the regions as well. In Luzon also, but that Luzon is basically excluding Metro Manila. So if we exclude that, then almost the demand for land and vertical spaces were kind of neck to neck in that part. Also, apart from the office to return mandate, and that has kind of pushed the overall rental demand. And that's why the overall trend has been very positive for condominiums and apartments. If I compare the buy and renting trends, so let's talk about buying first. If I look at the buying trends, I would say the luxury segment actually had a very good spike. That has been the trend which has been for past couple of years as well. So we got the maximum demand for 12 million to 20 million property type. But what actually, when we were looking the data internally, we found that yes, although the overall visits and demand in terms of looking out for properties, page views has been more on that SKU class, but in terms of actual inquiries, the mid segment, which is between 2.5 to 4 million, has actually the most serious inquiries into the portal. So I think generally people start on the portal or in general by looking at more high-end properties and comparing that what can they get in that segment, and gradually kind of filter down to the the budget class which they have planned for it as well. So very, very interesting trend on the buying side of things right now. And after this high-end segment, we saw the second highest demand was actually for the affordable segment, which is less than 450K in total. On the rental side as well, the most demand we saw was between 30 to 100K segment, largely on the 30 to 60K side. On the 60 to 100K side, the demand has been largely because a lot of companies are buying large condominiums, and apartments, and then having their staff, having it used as a staff quarter, and that has actually increased the overall demand for that particular category. But the most is 30 to 60K. That also kind of resonates the increase in the CBD class. So the areas near Makati, BGC, Quezon City, those apartments which are near those CBD areas, workplaces, are actually in that particular range if people are looking for 1 BHK or 2 BHK. And then after that, we saw again high demand on the affordable segment, which is less than 5K per month. Lastly, on the location trends in terms of overall demand. So Metro Manila, of course, we saw Quezon City, and most of these areas you will see are basically CBD places with a lot of offices there. Quezon City, because of the overall size of that particular area, basically saw the maximum demand. For Luzon, we saw that people right now are preferring more kind of colder places or more vacation places. So that's why we saw, in terms of the demand, Antipolo, Tagaytay, these areas having the biggest in Luzon. This, when I say Luzon, this is excluding the Metro Manila as well.
Right, right.
For Visayas, of course, Cebu City being the largest city there, and with the most workplaces, CBD area, that has been the usual trend in Visayas region, Cebu as well. We saw, Lapu-Lapu also having an increased demand as well. One of the other things with the Lapu-Lapu city also has been that there has been a recent flyover connectivity, which has actually connected Cebu and the Mactan areas as well. So that's why there's an increased demand in those areas as well. For Mindanao, Davao city always has been, I would say, the most popular and in demand for property class. But something we need to all look out for is Cagayan de Oro. I think in last couple of years there has been steeply increasing demand for this area as well. And speaking to a lot of our partners, brokers, and firms, this is one of the hot properties to kind of look out for in near future right now. So these are the trends basically area wise, and I'll just summarize it with what we are seeing right now. Yes, there has been, as you mentioned, there has been a lot of increased activity in the property segment, which is good for the market, good for us. Overall, rental leads have actually increased onto the portal, which is actually reflecting that people are now, the rental yield overall and the rental demand is actually coming back strongly, which had extremely gone down during the last couple of years because of the market circumstances. Because of that, the overall demand for vertical developments, which is apartments, condominiums, have been increasing, as you saw there. And the overall trend is that there has been a lot more real estate activity, both happening offline and online as well, which is a very, very good trend for the market. And in fact, as I said, we'll be soon sharing the Q2 results as well. But the trends have been very, very optimistic and very, very strong in that as well. All these trends which I just discussed in Q1, there has been a positive growth from in Q2 as well, which further kind of brings our optimism into the next few months for it being really, really strong for the real estate industry, and which will be good for us as well for sure. Right. So yeah, that's it for the trends.
No, Anu, thank you so much. And I think for those who have watched us, it's critical to understand these trends so you can plan ahead, whether you are returning to office yourself or you are looking to set up a satellite office. In the BPO space, Anu, you'll hear that all the time because to your point, people move to the provinces and now these are where your workforce are, and you need to create a hub for them to at least connect, because again, I think it's also a good strategy to decongest the CBDs, especially Metro Manila. So I think, Anu, that's very, very helpful. So before we let you go, first I want to thank you for allowing us to feature Lamudi, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to quickly just share more information on how they can get in touch with Lamudi, or if there's anything that they wanted to know, how do they get in touch with you guys?
Got it. Thank you so much, first of all, Natasha, for having me and featuring Lamudi. It was great sharing all the trends which you're seeing on the portal as well, and more about Lamudi. They can reach out to us on the lamudi.com portal. They can go there, browse through it, and for any assistance they need, we have all the email IDs and numbers, contact number mentioned there, so they can reach out to us through those mediums as well. And I would say that we have a lot of events which are coming in near future as well. We are doing one Outlook conference, which I mentioned in August, Shangri-La BGC. We are doing a developer awards as well, which will be September. That will be again one of the biggest events in the country this year, where we'll be featuring and awarding and recognizing our top developers in different sections as well, and in different way as well. So I think these are a couple of events for the stakeholders, real estate stakeholders, to look out for. And if they're watching this program, I would definitely request them to register for those events as well. They can get the details of the events on our LinkedIn and Facebook channels as well. For our seekers, we have an event planned end of this year. It will be Lamudi Housing Fair. This is the second round of Lamudi Housing Fair. We did one online last year, so this time it will be an offline event where we would be under one roof, inviting all the developers with all their latest projects, right? And it will be a housing fair, so seekers can come in free to the event. They can explore different options. They can research more about it, get to know more about the property trends in that particular fair as well. So yeah, these are the things to look out for in the near future from the Moody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anu. So again, for those who watched that, there's an event coming up in August in Shangri-La BGC. If you want to know more about the details, please look at Lamudi in LinkedIn or in Facebook. So with that, Anu, thank you so much for sharing your time with us this afternoon again. Thank you so much, and all the best to Lamudi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best.